Alright guys, Watchman's Post coming to you again. I wanted to come on and just kind of just jump around a little bit this time and show you what's going on today. The big news today is there's another drone that got too close to Israel, and they sent another Patriot missile out. There was one yesterday, and now here's another one this morning. I woke up and it seemed to be just happening. So and here's a video. There's the trail. I've barely even checked this stuff out yet myself. I figured I'd turn the camera on and start showing everybody. Doesn't seem to be much but a trail in that one. And here's a guy, I'm guessing he's a reporter from Israel, from at I-24 News there. And his stuff seems to be good. If you're on Twitter, I would suggest following him. But he says the IDF says it launched a Patriot missile toward a Syrian drone that had been flying in the buffer zone between the two countries, adding it was apparently intercepted. Military forces are not allowed in the buffer zone as per the 1974 Separation of Forces Agreement. So what does that mean? It means that there's an agreement, 1974, 73, around that time. I've seen other people say 73. And they made an agreement with Syria that there was going to be a buffer zone in the Golan region. And I'm going to zoom in and show you where that's at right now. And that neither Israel or Syria would have any forces there. And if you can see this right here, it says, here, let me slide it over. It says the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force. So there's not supposed to be anybody but the UN's forces in this region to, maintain a buffer zone so that everybody feels safe. But in the past, as things escalated in the Syrian civil war, these guys, they don't really have a lot of a dog in the fight, so they're not really willing to get out there and risk their life. So as things got scary, they pulled back over into Israel for safety, and it looks like they lost ground up here in the zone. I'll zoom in a little bit more. So you can see these little dotted dashed lines or whatever, and that's supposed to be from like right here down in here, the buffer zone, and nobody's supposed to be in there but the UN. But Assad's violated it right here in the red, and Israel has recently come out and said that they have no problem with Assad's forces coming and taking back all this region, but they said we're going to draw the line on this buffer zone, and if there's any violation of this buffer zone, we're not going to hesitate to use force. And yesterday, a drone came over. They said it went. See, this is Jordan down here. You can see on the little map right there. They said the drone came over into Jordan first, and as it was coming back around over towards this Golan, and this is the Sea of Galilee, Israel was making contact with Jordan. They were making contact with Russia, because Russia has their forces out there to see whose drone is this, because we're about to take it down. They checked, and it wasn't Jordanian, it wasn't Russian, so they shot it down. And here comes another one, another drone the very next day. This time it's right here. You can see it says Israel just shot down a drone over Quneitra. Local in Syria are reporting a loud explosion. There's reports of an explosion up here. So this is a really small area, and they probably heard this explosion right here. And you could click on that. Let's see what happens. It shows right here. They click source, and I'm gonna show you just how it works so you can do it for yourself. And anybody would check on Twitter is a verified source, so probably a reporter or something. And here's the report: breaking Israel just shot down a drone. So you can follow that and then retweet that and share it with your friends. And the map is a really great tool so you can see where things are, what's going on. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a visual person. I got to see where this is so that I can understand. I told you in past videos that there's been earthquakes out here near the Sea of Galilee, and in Ezekiel 38, at the end of the Ezekiel 38 war, Persians come in, and God causes a worldwide earthquake so that he can protect Israel, and he sends them all home. But this is the zone that they violated. It flew over in this area, and Israel shot it down today. So that's the news for Israel this morning. Second day in a row that a drone came over. So I'm gonna close this. Let me show you a little more on my Twitter feed, and I always leave my links in the videos so you can come, follow me on Twitter and check this stuff out for yourself, and follow them and share with your friends. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. Let's see. Patriot missile fired against drone. So this is a report from the Jerusalem Post reporting on that exact drone and missile this morning that just happened. Radio Farda, they're a second time this week, so they're reporting on that this morning. When it breaks, here's one right here. So you can follow this stuff, make your own video, put it on your Facebook or whatever, and share with your friends. It's about the information, and these are signs that they're on the verge of a Ezekiel 38 war with Iran, and that Bible prophecy is about to unfold. And to me, this is a big sign that Jesus is about to return. So this is something Christians need to be watching. I wanted to find the report from yesterday. Let me just scroll real fast. The drone from yesterday, they were arguing over whether it was Syrian or whose it belongs to, and a report finally came out, and they said that it was an Iranian manufactured drone. It belonged to Iran. There it is, right there. Oh, and it moved on me. I believe the bloopers and everything. Here we go. And I added that to my thread. You can see right here it says show this thread. Click that, and it'll show like all these things strung together, a related story. And it said that Syrian drone was made in Iran. Iranian produced model which specializes in reconnaissance, photography, and assault missions. So spying, taking spy pictures on what you're doing. So they're testing out Israel's defenses and seeing how long is it going to take for Israel to hit this. So yeah, they tested it out, and it was said that it took 15 minutes for Israel to strike that drone down. So now Hezbollah and Iran is the ones who sent that over. It is verified that that it's an Iranian-made drone. It wasn't Assad. It's Iran, and they know that it takes 15 minutes generally for Israel to verify whether or not it belongs to Russia or Jordan before they can take it down. So they've got a 15-minute window to attack Israel. So it's like tossing a little rock in a fence and seeing will anybody notice. Checking things out, so you have more information for an attack that you might do later on. So that was extremely important information for me to just verify what we already know. And I'm going to show you a report in a second that it's Iran. This is all about an Iranian offensive coming up against Israel. And here's an attack yesterday that happened, and the same area, Israel, Golan Heights. I'm going to be talking about that a lot. And look how close they hit to Israel's Golan Heights just yesterday. With that aside, let me show you. Oh man, let's refresh that. It died on me. Can you believe that? That's all right. I'll just open it up again. So the Jerusalem Post put this out this morning. I just found July 13th. And it says, Intel Center, Hezbollah, Iran's Shiite militias hidden in Syrian army. So that same Golan Heights area that's moving in, or that I've been reporting on, that Iran's forces are coming in. This is a Hezbollah flag. This is a Syrian flag. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. It's got a little bit of detail to it. I suggest you come and find this and read it for yourself. But basically, it's verified. These boys are getting out there and you know, they're not only are they fighting a war, but they're taking pictures on their phone and then posting it on Facebook so that they can be a famous warrior or something, and so they can be famous back home. But which is great, because now we know exactly which battalion you're with, which Iranian Hezbollah forces you're with, and we know that you're moving into the Quneitra Dara offensive, and there's verified information that Hezbollah is taking their forces out there and moving in here. So you might as well just snitch on your people. But you know, the Iranians have publicly said that they're out there. You know, I reported that, or shared that report with you just the other day. So they're not even trying to hide it anyway. But it is just further verification. The drones that they shot down yesterday was a Iranian drone. These boys are out there taking selfies on their phone, and their Hezbollah forces. And the commanders are saying, hey, we're out here on the Golan Heights waiting for orders to take down Israel. We're ready to destroy them. So and this is just further verification. I know for my people that don't follow this, there's no confusion for you because you don't know. But I've seen reports on, I won't say, certain news agencies saying that, the Iranian forces aren't out there. And there's just so much proof that they are. They're right there, and they're getting ready to attack Israel. Iran and Israel are about to have a war. They're using these Hezbollah proxy forces, but they're Iranians right on the Golan Heights. So I suggest you come in and check that article out this morning. It says a 3-minute read. But that's pretty big news. That's what's breaking with Israel this morning. I don't know what I'm going to call this video here, because I'm going to just throw North Korea in there too. I don't know exactly where I left off on my last North Korea video or whatever, but they were supposed to meet with the U.S. Thursday, and today's what, Friday, and talk about giving back some of these remains or bodies from the last Korean War that they still haven't given to us. And North Korea didn't show up at all. They didn't even show up to the meeting. And then they said about halfway through the day, North Korea contacted the U.S. and said, hey, we want to reschedule for Sunday. At the middle of the day when they're supposed to be having it, didn't show up for it. They call up and say, let's reschedule for Sunday. So we'll see on Sunday. Will they show up this time? But now the speculation is when they do show up, they think they were going to just stand them up, but all of a sudden they changed their mind, probably because they have something that they want now. They're like, hey, do we even need anything? Hey, we could reschedule and get something out of them, because that's what it is. They want gifts from us. They want concessions. They want to get something from us. So they don't want to show up when we want something, but hey, we'll schedule another one when we want to get something from you. And it says North Korea could propose military restrictions with the U.S. over the weekend. So these guys, and this is UPI, just to show you, this is a reliable source. It's the United Press International, and they've been reporting out of Washington since 1907. You probably can't see that, but here, let me scroll up. Maybe you can. See right there, under their little Twitter icon or whatever, they give a little description about themselves or whatever, and it says Washington D.C. 1907, and they were bigger than Associated Press, and they eventually Associated Press beat them out, and then I did a little research on it, and just to show you that this isn't Sputnik. This is a verified source out of Washington, and they've been reporting for a long time. Eventually, Associated Press became the bigger reporting agency, but UPI is definitely a verified source. So, you know, I take the speculation seriously that might be what they want this Sunday if they show up after standing us up on Thursday. And this is just another snapshot of how serious they are about denuclearization and the peace process. You know, it's on the other side of the world. We could just let it go and not even care. They're the ones who should be taking this seriously. It's their region. It's their homeland. We're on the other side of the world. We could just ignore it. Let China deal with it. Let Russia deal with it. Let Japan deal with it. But we got to go to the other side of the world and tell them what's going on and what's up. So here we are trying to go over there and negotiate things with them and work out things in their region of the world, and they don't even show up for the meeting. That's hilarious. Overall, this is not funny. This is a very serious thing. I believe that this is going to be the beginning of World War III. I've had dreams that that's what it is. So, you know, I try to, you know, make slight jokes and lighten the mood and things. Excuse me, but overall, it's very serious. But you know, it's just a snapshot as to how serious they're taking things. You know, they're continuing to work the uranium facilities. They just finished a missile factory. They're working on submarines, and they've already got submarines that they can launch ballistic missiles from. They've got intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear warheads, and they can hit Washington, D.C. today if they hit the button. There's no doubt about it. So this is a small snapshot of, you know, the bigger picture to show you they didn't even show up. Pompeo visited. They didn't walk around the corner and shake his hand, or Kim Jong-un didn't come out and even visit him. And here we're supposed to, a few days later, we're supposed to have a meeting with them that they agreed to. It's not like we said, hey, I'm coming to your house to eat lunch today. They agreed to have us over and have a meeting, you know. And they didn't even show up to the meeting they agreed to have. And then they rescheduled midday after standing us up for Sunday. So in a couple of days, we'll see, you know, will they show up this time? And like I said, they're speculating in this article that they must want something. They probably want to try to get our military off the peninsula. That must be what it is, right? So I thought that was extremely interesting. Those are the two major things that I'm following. I put out a lot of tweets yesterday. There's stuff going on all over the world, just to kind of jump around a little bit and show you some other stuff. Beijing is the capital of China, is determined to rewrite the rules in the Asia Pacific region, and Taipei, which will be the capital of Taiwan, will suffer. So if you don't know what's going on with that, China's got South China Sea islands. They've made little man-made islands out there, and there's a huge dispute with everybody in that region. And Taiwan and China are potentially about to go to war over that situation. High tensions there. That's the missile this morning. Here's a report. I haven't even checked this stuff out. I just found it this morning. This guy is reporting, Chad O'Carroll, CEO of Korea Risk Group, NK North Korea Pro Specialist, North Korea Information. So this guy's going to put out North Korea stuff. so a lot of these guys, they specialize in one topic. Yeah, I'm watching any major conflict, so I jump around a lot of stuff. I don't specialize. I'm no expert in any one thing, but I'm watching anything that I feel is serious. This one says North Korea has likely conducted 89 illicit ship-to-ship transfers. So this is talking about yesterday. I believe Trump went to have a meeting with the NATO or what have you, and they decided that they want to increase pressure on North Korea because they've been violating the sanctions. So this is a more serious, them not showing up to the meeting is a little bit funny, a little bit laughable, but we've placed sanctions on them. And they said they've been violating the sanctions so much. It says, what does it say here? Through illegal means, they've 90% more than the amount allowed. So what good are the sanctions if they're getting 90% more than they're supposed to? 92%. So they're violating the sanctions, and this is what this article is about. Like I said, I hadn't got to read that one specifically yet, but let me scroll down a little bit. Oh, this one's good. South Korea says scrambles jets to intercept 2 Russian aircraft. So I'm gonna go back to the sanctions, but this is extremely related to that. South Korea is getting Russian jets, and this isn't the first time I've seen reports of this some months ago. The Russians are flying all the way down to South Korea and violating their airspace. It shows, man, as soon as, if we get into it with North Korea, and we will, I'm telling you we will, that's why I'm doing this, to warn you, it's going to be Russia. It's going to be Russia coming out of nowhere. You're going to be into it with Russia. So here's another one of the reports about the sanctions violations. I know I'm jumping around. I hope you can follow me. U.S. blasts China and Russia for the sanctions violations. They've been getting oil and whatever else to North Korea and violating the sanctions. So we're mad about it with North Korea, obviously, but shouldn't we be mad with China and Russia too? And they are. They're blasting China and Russia because they're the ones violating it. So this doesn't sound very interesting to you. Oh, they're putting some oil over there. So what? This shows that China and Russia are in a great alliance with North Korea. So like I said, Russia just had jets come down to South Korea. They had to get out there and scramble them and run them away, basically, for violating their airspace. I mean, that's a long way from home. What were they doing that far out there? Nothing good, It wasn't an accident to go that far. And who is North Korea? Their biggest allies, China and Russia. So my point is what? If we hit North Korea tonight, you're going to end up into some World War III situation with Russia and China. I'm telling you, if you don't believe it, I'm sorry. I told you. Let me see if I can pull up a picture to kind of give you a visual. Like I said, I'm a visual person. Let me give you a visual on a map if I can find one real quick. I'm not doing any editing, so I mean, not unless more viewers come along. Lots of documents. Let's see. I got pictures somewhere in here. This is everything with North Korea on it. There's one map to show you. South Korea is way down here, and I'm gonna find another one. Russia is way up here. What are they doing way out there? That's my point. I got another picture somewhere. Here's a good one. I just used this for a report the other day about Kim Jong-un's private plane was seen in this area, Vladivostok, Russia. This is China, this is Russia, and this is North Korea. Let me pull that other one up too. And I know this isn't the best demonstration. And then South Korea is way down there. So it would be down here. I hope you can see that. Right? So Russia's flying, in this picture they're showing a little oil can spilling, right? And they're saying that they're violating the sanctions, sending planes and oil through them over here. So not only are they China's sending them, their two boats are meeting up in the middle of the ocean out there, and China's transferring oil from one ship to another, and it's going home with some oil, violating the sanctions. But Russia's been accused of sending planes and shipping stuff directly over to North Korea, violating the sanctions. And this is an older picture, but my whole point is, why are they way down here in South Korea violating their airspace? Do you see that there's no border with South Korea? They shouldn't be violating their airspace. South Korea shouldn't have to get out there and run them off. You know, it wasn't an accident. Here's one again. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I hope you can keep up. But Russia's put out yesterday, Russia's air defense alerts forces have prevented 7 violations of the country's borders in the past week. In June, a U.S. drone conducted a reconnaissance near Russia. So not only are they violating South Korea's airspace, but Russia's reporting that lots of countries are violating their airspace, and specifically we had a drone violating their airspace a few months ago. So, or a month ago. So, you know, like I said, this is another one of these things that it's not a big deal, but it's just like what's going on here in Israel. They had a drone go over the airspace yesterday. Israel shot it down, and then again this morning they had a drone come over, and Israel shot it down again. So, and I haven't even seen whether it's been verified hit or not. I'm sure it has. But so what? Why is Iran sending drones over there to spy on Israel? Why are we sending drones over in Russia? Same thing, to spy on Russia. Why are they sending jets out down to South Korea? Because it's prime example to show that they're going to defend North Korea. If you didn't know, now you know. You know, so I mean, and most people know this stuff, and it's casual information, and I'm trying to reach people that probably didn't know. I had a troll one time tell me that if we got into it with North Korea, it wouldn't be World War III because Russia and China would back us. People are very uninformed, and I'm showing you example. Not only would they not back us, but it'd be World War III, and we would be in it with Russia and China, or both, you know. But with the alliance being so strong with China and Russia, it's your guess as to who would back them first. But there's definitely going to be a World War III breakout. They're not going to like that. China's allied with them. They're the biggest supporter of North Korea, and Russia's scrambling jets down in South Korea this morning. So what does that show you? They're ready to defend North Korea. They're ready for some action, and they're prepping for it. They're violating the sanctions. We're accusing them of that. So if there's any doubt in anybody's mind whether the North Korea situation could break off into a war with Russia and China, I hope that clears it up for you. I've probably been talking for a while now. Just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, for anybody who's on the computer, I got this BlueStacks thing that I found you might find interesting, and you could get like web notifications on the computer, but you can't actually catch them. And this BlueStacks actually pretends to be a phone, and it catches all your notifications for you. So I thought I'd share that. I've got a WhatsApp group set up for anybody who wants to check that out. I don't even know if it'll open up this morning, but and mine's linked to my wife's phone, but I usually leave links for that, and it's right here. And I won't open it up because we've been having some trolls come into there. But you can put the WhatsApp on your phone, and some of my friends are already in there, and we fellowship in a Christian format. Anything to do with Jesus. It doesn't have to be about what I'm covering. As long as it's the Christian material, it's a Bible verse, it's a dream you had, whatever you want, you can click that WhatsApp link and join up on the group, and you can have somebody to fellowship and talk to at all times, and instead of trying to correspond in a comment section under a video or whatever. You can have that WhatsApp and make Christian friends to fellowship and pray with and talk to. Well, I don't know what else to cover, but I hope you found this stuff interesting. And if you haven't already, set up a Twitter account and follow along and check out some of this information that's going on. And like I said, you can follow along this stuff, and it'll send you notifications to your device, or it's not on this one, but there's like a little bell, and you can click the bell on my page, and everything that I'm finding that's important to me and relevant, it'll be sent straight to you, and you can make a video about it. You can share it with your friends, and you can stay informed about all these conflicts and major things happening, like this Israel situation. Like I said, guys, Israel's on the verge of a war with Iran, and as these guys are pushing into the Golan Heights, and let me pull up a picture of that. This is just yesterday. I need to make another one today. As these forces, it's red, and they claim to be a Syrian army, but like I just stated earlier, it's the Iranian Hezbollah forces that are running the ground game for Assad. So as Iran closes in on the Golan Heights, you can see over the past 2 days, 2 drones have been shot down, and tensions are high. There's major potential for a conflict. So, as a Christian, you should be keeping up with Israel, and this is the major area to watch. This is the Ezekiel 38 prophecy. Damascus is right there. They might take too much junk off these guys and send a few missiles and level Damascus, and Isaiah 17 be fulfilled. So this is a highly prophetic area. So I suggest you follow along with that and share with other Christian people, and tell them about the Golan. Tell them about Iran coming in on Israel, and tell them about the 2 drones that they just dropped in the past 2 days. Iranian drones. They haven't verified that this other one was Iranian, but I'm sure it was, because that's the way the story's been going. And keep up with these things, and be encouraged that these are all signs that Jesus is about to return. When all this war breaks out, it's going to be the Great Tribulation. God's about to judge all these nations, the whole world. Every nation is going to be judged, and the tribulation will begin. This is how close we are. So be encouraged that you're being faithful. Be found faithful, remain faithful, and that means, like faithful to your wife. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't cheat on Jesus. And that's all that matters. It doesn't matter how much information you got or how much understanding you got. At the end of the day, Jesus cares about faith. Anybody who's read the story, he talked about faith. Every city he was going, he was talking about little faith, great faith, faith of a mustard seed. Just a little bit's all you need, and be found faithful, and watch these things for encouragement. and in an adult manner, keep up to date with what's going on in God's country and God's prophecies. Revelation talks about a red horse riding, and I'm working on a picture right now. I don't know if I finished it exactly the way I wanted it yet, but here you go. To me, this is the red horse and others. But all these were communist nations. These are their old communist symbols. I believe he still got that one out there. But this is the red horse. You'll see. But this is the red horse. So follow along with Israel and the Golan Heights, Ezekiel 38, Isaiah 17, unfolding daily. And follow along with North Korea, Russia, China, the red horse, Revelation. And keep up with what God's working on. This is God's work in the world today that you can watch and see every day. And you watch and follow along and share with your friends. I'm just looking every day, turning my Twitter feed on, trying to see what God's working on today. And it looks like he's working on a war in Israel. He's working on conflicts all over the world. And he said that's what he was going to do. He said he didn't come to bring peace but a sword. And sword is war. Be encouraged. Like I said, don't be afraid as long as you're found faithful. Faithful like you're faithful to your spouse. Be faithful to Jesus. Then you'll be fine. He's going to protect you and take care of you. He's coming to judge the wicked and the unfaithful. So be encouraged by this stuff to know this is how close you are to seeing Jesus. I can't wait to see him, and I can't wait to be free from this place and be happy. I'm trying to encourage somebody. I'm trying to inform people and help you. Walking this walk is hard. It's not an easy walk. And if anybody tells you that, it's not true. It's a hard walk. It's easier to walk in this world and live this life with God in your heart, because he'll hold you up and support you. He says, my yoke is light and my burden is easy. But at the end of the day, being a Christian is not easy. He also said that there'd be persecutions. They hated him first and they'll hate us too. So I try to put this information out there, like I said, to encourage you to see these signs. They said, Jesus, what'll be the sign of your coming? What'll be your sign of your coming? He said, you won't get a sign. You wicked nation, generation, you won't get a sign but the sign of Jonah. But he's given us signs. He said there'd be signs in the skies and the stars. We've had Revelation 12, and these are signs of I don't know if you can see that. My description is Luke 21:10. Then he said unto them, they asked what the sign was. He said, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Is that not a sign to watch for? What's he talking about? Worldwide war. That's what he's talking about. And we're on the verge of it. They've had another, it's not something I cover, but I'm just to mention, they've had another poison attack in London. I've lost count. It's not something I keep up with directly. I keep up more with, conflicts with war and stuff, but they're saying that's like 3 separate events. I don't know how many people, 4 or 5 different people. A lady died, a police officer, and I'm talking about, I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing it right. Like I said, I don't keep up with it, but like the Novichok poison, they had another one just the other day. And regardless of what you believe, as far as conspiracy or flat media states, they're accusing Russia every time. So whether Russia's doing it or not, it doesn't matter, really. They said that Russia's doing it. They're accusing Russia of it. So what's that mean? Tensions with Russia, potential coming conflict. Russia's violating sanctions. They're accusing them of hacking, elections in the past. They're accusing Russia of killing people out in the middle of the streets in England, London, and wherever. That's another sign, like I said, that I don't really cover, but that you should be aware of, that we're on the verge of a war with Russia. It's insanity. But that's a sign that how close we are to World War III, And Jesus coming. Like I said, what Jesus say? They said, hey, what'll be the sign of that coming? One of the signs he said was, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. At first, it's just rumors. Right now, we're at that rumor stage. It hasn't actually gotten to a World War III scenario. There are nations against nations going on out there, but we're like right on the verge of a major conflict with major nations breaking off at any moment, especially with this Golan Heights stuff. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. I like to rant, and people don't like long videos, but I hope this helps somebody. I hope I've encouraged somebody or informed somebody. You learned something. Get on here, follow this stuff, share it with your friends. Stay faithful. Jesus coming. God bless you in Jesus' holy name. Amen.